Hey everybody. Hey everyone. It's Lou again, and we're going to take a look at some of these CS matches from the previous week. And just a little bit of analysis here. Break down what went wrong, how to better strategize against the meta, and how to basically attack these I guess optimize your play, depending on or even just like develop some strategies for the current, not only the current meta folks, but additional folks who may come. So let's begin. And this was a match I didn't want to see to begin with. I went up against Vash. Now, a little bit of background against this guy. I knew from earlier last week that his Eileen would cause me a lot of trouble. Mainly because he runs Leah on Eileen, and no matter what, if I'm using Vanessa, I'm not going to do a whole lot there. If I'm using Karate, I wasn't going to do a whole lot there. And he's a very cocky player, taunts a lot, and you know, when I was doing this video, I really wasn't looking forward to fighting this guy initially. I feel like at this point my team can take on Athena. Probably not my probably not Orochi. So I wanted to make those three my bans. Pretty Zero right now is just a counter pick to Kim, in my opinion. She's not that great anymore. Rugal is Rugal. If you're a good player with Rugal, you're a good player. If you're a bad player, you're a bad player. That's how it's going to be. He does okay against this lineup. This lineup can do okay against him. You know, it depends on a lot of things. So those are my bans, and he's going to give me K-Dash, he's going to give me Vanessa, he's going to give me Mai. My guess here is he predicts I'm going to lead with Mai because it's Mai. I don't do that, I lead with K. Because K, I feel like K can brawl any of these folks, like from the get-go. And one of the big things K does well in this meta is PG gain is a big thing for Rugal, PG gain is a big thing for Orochi, PG gain is a big thing for SS units. Right here, from the start of the match, and let's go back to the beginning. Right here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be watching for, I'm going to be holding on to my S3 from K-Dash and waiting for an S1 from Zero. That way, once her S1 comes in, I can block the S1, and I've got, no, I can't block the S1. But I meet the S1 with an S3, I get some armor, I armor through it. Most folks, when they see that they hit with the S1, they go into an S3. It's kind of spammy play, but if you're using Lady Zero, you're going to be a pretty spammy player. Furthermore, if Lady Zero goes S1 to S2, anticipating a dodge in to avoid the cat, you know, I've already got her with K-Dash's grab, which is great. Right off the bat, she dodges in, and really you can pause a second when you're against the Lady Zero and let her dodge in, because if you block, you block the S3 for free. If you see the S1, it's at far enough distance such that you can hit an S3 in retaliation. So dodging in with Lady Zero really isn't a great idea unless you're trying to bait out a dodge from your opponent. Either way, begins with that. The clash works here, and then Vash retreats. I bait out the dodge, hit an S2, and Lady Zero burns to death. And this is a great way to start. First of all, because it's K-Dash, and the period of 10 seconds, she goes from 100% to nothing. Bait you there, and she just dies. So next is Athena. And Athena, I still haven't completely figured out. If you have any ideas on how to fight Athena, definitely mention in the comments below. There are a couple different ways I feel like an Athena can start. Block, and obviously that's if your opponent is like a freeze type opponent, or maybe a blue fighter. Ultimately, Athena, blocking is a valid strategy with her. A lot of folks might lead S3. I think that's like a spammier type of way to start. Or some folks lead S1 with the projectile, which could also be a pretty valid way to start. Right here, I'm going to dodge back, anticipating the S3. I end up getting caught by it, though. And then she proceeds to S1 to S2, back off. This wasn't the worst play I've done against Athena, but it definitely isn't the best. Get another catch there. What you want to do against Athena, though, that I kind of messed up a bit here, is you want to keep the spacing relatively on point. Right here, after I hit the S2, I could back off because she's got armor. And ultimately clashing against her is only resulting in her getting more PG. I don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to do that. Create space. I tend to fight a little too close to some folks, 0 character to 1 character distance away. And against Athena, you can't get away with that. Speaking of 0 character to 1 character distance, a lot of what you want to do with Vanessa here is try to either A, work your way to this juggle, her trademark juggle, or try to create opportunities where you can clash kind of well. This is a problem right there. But Vanessa ends up taking this round in spite of what feels like my best efforts. And home run. Cool. So let's break this down bit by bit, piece by piece, because it's kind of a long match. Or this is kind of a long round. So Athena starts the standard start S3 to try to grab. I dodge in, and that gets a freeze from the portal. Then I hit with an S1, which is nice because you can see up here it gives a bit of a chill, and it also decreases the attack speed and movement speed, which is a big thing for Athena, especially with that Psycho Ball. I try to work after I hit the freeze to try to catch with the S3. And Athena doesn't have any stun resistance, so once I catch with the S3, I can work into a combo here. And this is how you kind of work that combo, for those curious. So after the stun, if you start doing basics right as soon as you get the stun, you can get a full round of the basic string going, and then you can follow up with an S1 or S2. I'm following up with an S1 here because the S1 increases Vanessa's attack, and that's going to do A, more chill damage on the S2, or B, more general damage in general with the cycle. So then you do a few basics, and you can hit with the S2 there, and we start running a cycle again there. She's in trouble. Couple of basics. Just go right to the S3. Awakening to keep the juggle alive. At this point, once I hit with the S2, that was kind of an unnecessary rush down here. So I'll back up a bit. Look at the power, look at the, I'll pause it right after this awakening actually. Now look at the health bars here. I have 48.21%, Athena has 5.01. Now here, since the chill is resistant to, since damage reduction doesn't affect the chill or poison or bleed or any of those, Athena will most likely die after this hyper armor wears off. And so clashing here is kind of useless. I also don't need to be using my 3 PG. I didn't need to clash. I lost a lot of HP really quick. But now that I'm in Starlight, I know I need to end this match very fast. I'm able to catch here. That's that. So then what happens is with every fighter who likes to taunt, this guy's, kind of a little bitch, and he just leaves the match. He has Rugal. Rugal can do a lot. He just flat out gave up. Surrendered. I am not really sure why he did that. But that was a nice way to start this session. It was a nice way to start this series. And then this next match, pairing up. I forget who I pair up against here. We can skip this because at the time of this recording it was a Sunday. And there's probably not a whole lot you can glean from this match. Okay, Odin-sama. I like this one because this is one where I lose. Spoilers, I guess. But it's good to like kind of talk this one through. So you can see his team right here. Kim, at this point, is a relatively new fighter. Right now I'm banning Orochi because as far as CC fighters go on my team, I have Vanessa and no one else. Vanessa can counter Orochi in some circumstances, but if Vanessa gets caught against Orochi, things go really bad really quickly. So I ban Orochi. And then the rest, kind of a mystery. Do I have folks on my team who can handle stun? No. So Chang has to go. When it comes to the rest, Rudy, Kim, Chris, and Rugal, I'm definitely keeping Kim because Kim's a newer fighter. I want to fight Kim. Chris, there are strategies you can use to beat Chris, even though he can get kind of spammy if he hits once. Rudy, same thing. If he makes contact, he wins. If he can keep that juggle going, also a stun-based fighter. Rugal, if he can destroy folks in a matter of seconds. Like your health bar can go 0 to 100 to 0 in no time. And for that reason, I decided to ban Rugal in this instance, simply because there's a smaller margin of error. So as usual, I start off with K, and I should also mention this is Stones Week. So the reason I have K here is K-Dash can actually be really strong on Stones Week because his burn damage. Folks don't invest a whole lot in HP stones. The reason that would give K-Dash an advantage is because his burn damage can ignore any damage reduction bonuses folks may get, but if you've got folks like Vanessa, if you're fighting folks like Vanessa, she can just ignore the burn completely. There aren't a ton of folks who are burn resistant in the game right now. I can think of only a handful, and it's just a small amount. So K-Dash is a nice option for Stones Week, if you ask me. He's going to start against Kim, and then the rest from there. So I'm not used to fighting Kim, and I think that becomes clear, abundantly clear, early here. So my first thing I want to do here is back dodge. I want to get out of the way. I know Onsama plays a very aggressive style. And right now he's taken a lot of fire damage. And he gains PG very quickly, kind of in the same manner as I guess Lady Kim or whoever else. Alice comes to mind. We end up getting a win here. Versus Chris. This is now what I'm expecting Chris to do here. And big ups to Control, who helped me with this strategy, is with Chris. I'm predicting, since this guy plays a fairly aggressive style, I'm predicting in S2, into an S3, into an S1. So I'm predicting he's going to either dodge forward in S2 or S2 right off the bat to get the super armor. use his petrification pumpkins, and then go in with his S1. So he dodges, he uses the pump S2 to S3, predict right. What we can do from here is we can continue to block until he hits this point in his jump. He's incredibly vulnerable during these frames. And this is the key point you want to attack him during his S1. If you ask me, he kind of messed up by not going straight into the S1, because if he had the armor here and I connected with an S3, there's a chance that he gets a reset from finishing the move, making contact, laying the move on K-dash, and then it's a much more difficult fight. As it is, he's not armored here, and K-dash can just hit with an S3. Into an S1, into a 3PG. I probably could have held on to that because Chris is going to die of fire anyway, but I used it a little early. Now notice that at the beginning of this fight I said I end up losing this one. Right now I'm up 2 fighters and an eighth of a bar of health against 1 Rudy. And that's the problem against fighting Rudy, is you need to guess right against Rudy, or things go really south really quickly. So right here, since I know he plays an aggressive style, I probably could have led with an S3 to get him during the forward dodge. What he's going to try to do is break my guard immediately, and then go into an S2, and then get the win. If I lead with an S3, this becomes a bit of a different match. That was one permutation of how I could have won there, but who knows. This next one, and look, he by doing an eighth of a health bar worth of work, he's already nearly at 2 power bars. So while using I can't be playing particularly aggressive. He leads with an S2 right away, right into my S3. Let me double check here. And notice that after he hits the S2, right here, he gets the reset. So we know he's using a Leah set, and this was not a wise decision on my part. I probably could have led with either a dodge back or a dodge forward, or really those are the only 2 options. The dodge back is probably the safer of the 2 options. But as it is, he is gonna do this is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. And instantly half my health bar is gone. He leads with an S2. No, he leads with a juggle into an S2. And Mai is instantly erased. This is one of the worst matchups, if you ask me. For one, Vanessa has paper defense, so Rudy's offense is, as long as he doesn't use any SA or HA, going to like really just tear through her. Similarly, Vanessa can't get her trademark combo going because Rudy is he's immune to stun. So this is a really bad matchup, and going back would have made more sense to. It wouldn't have made more sense to put Vanessa second over Mai necessarily, but let's see. Let's see what happens when this starts, because I forget how it opens. So I'm able to catch him dodging in, I think, because he wouldn't necessarily predict an S3 to begin, and I wouldn't predict an S3 either. So he's not going to catch that with an S2. So what I said earlier with K-Dash and catching with the S3 against the dodge in by Rudy, that's what I do here. He has an SA card, which is a problem. I can still do some damage here, but it's not going to be a ton. He retaliates with an S2, which, Vanessa doesn't have any stun resistance. This is a problem. And a single S2, on a block, reduces her HP by about an eighth of health bar. That's a lot of damage. Now, fortunately, he comes in before his HA runs out, and he freezes. If you're playing a Rudy, don't do this. I dodge out. I hit no. I should have hit the S2 like I do there. I anticipate the S2 there. He misses. Even with my damage reduction, it does like 19% HP. I dance a little too much here. And I mean, at this point, I need a miracle to win this. It's 20 seconds to go, and it's Vanessa versus Rudy. So I get my guard break there, but he's still at like 59%. And there's no way I win this from that point on. So, moral of the story, don't use, I wouldn't say don't use Vanessa, because I still use Vanessa. She's pretty good, especially against a lot of the current meta. Just Rudy versus Vanessa, like, consider the matchup before you place your order. And that's just 2 matches, but it's about 30 minutes so far, so I'm just gonna stop recording here, and yeah. If you have any comments or anything, feel free to leave them below. This is mostly an instructional video or something for the purpose of education. So if you have anything to add, feel free to add them. Feel free to discuss or come by the Discord for some FMs, and those are going to be linked in the description below. Thanks for watching, and take care.